What's going on, world? It's your boy J Man.
And it's your girl Ashley J.
Ashley J.
Come on, Jay, you gotta scoot over now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What's going on, girl? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. It was just Juneteenth.
Well, it's the whole week, actually.
Yeah, Juneteenth weekend. Celebrating for the official release of African Americans, in the United States.
Yes.
So
I guess we're not supposed to celebrate 4th of July.
Yeah, they say we're not supposed to celebrate 4th of July because that's not our actual, Independence Day.
Exactly. I think it's more so celebrating it in a way where you wear the colors, the flag, this and that, because I definitely still want to barbecues. I'm sorry. Here.
Okay, you want some ribs?
No. I want the burnt hot dog.
You want the burnt hot dog? I never got into burnt hot dogs. That's not my thing.
Really?
Yeah, burnt hot dogs isn't my thing. Burnt hot dogs, burnt sausage. Now you throw some steak and some ribs on there, baked beans, potato salad. Oh yeah, I'm good to go. But all that other burnt hot dogs, no, they don't alright.
I see it's only burnt hot dogs, potato salad, and the what is it? The shrimp pasta.
Oh, like the pasta salad.
Yeah, the pasta salad. That's and the crab or whatever you want to put in it, and that's it. That's it. Like that's all I have. I don't want nothing else.
I don't want nothing burnt. I don't like. They said on what was that movie? She was like, "Minute don't burn no chicken." I don't want nothing.
Oh yeah, minute don't.
Minute don't burn no chicken. I don't want anything burnt, baby. If it's burnt, it's a disgrace.
Okay, so we're gonna move along and get into this thing this week. So
all right,
we are diving into mental health matters, Jay.
Mental health matters. I think that's really big with everything that's going on in the streets and this and the third. I think everyone's mental health right now is kind of being tried.
Exactly. So I was like, I'm gonna dive into it and I'm gonna give some, key pointers, some tips. We're gonna, get into a little discussion to see how you feel, see how our viewers feel, how our listeners feel. Like we said, you can hit us up at Generational Empowerment _ on IG. And so mental health matters. So I'm gonna give you a little bit background on what mental health is. When you think of mental health, people think of disorder. They think like, okay, you got some mental issues. But really, we all got some mental issues.
Yeah, we all have a chemical imbalance of some sort.
Yeah, absolutely. It may not be a chromosome missing and this and that, and chemically imbalanced, but some emotional, some behavior issues that I feel as if that we need to bring forth. So mental health is a cognitive, behavioral, and emotional well-being. It's all about how people think, feel, and behave. And that's the whole journey that I have been on, where it's learning to unlearn some of the habits or traits that you learned when you was a kid, seeing things from other relationships, other family members, households, school, peers. I think that's how we was formed. That's where a lot of our behavior issues or teachings came from.
Right. I don't disagree. I think that's very true. I think that's something, within kind of finding your ground and finding your foundation, that you kind of have to go through is removing some of your old thoughts and your old ways, and learning better traits. They say it takes 14 days to break a habit. However, I believe it takes more than 14 days to break a habit.
I think it definitely take more than 14 days because I think you have to know your triggers, right? It could be on the 25th, 30th day and something, or you see something that you see like this woman you following, she got cakes and pies and this and that, she got a sale going on, and all it takes is that red velvet or that peach cobbler, I'm peach cobbler man, but all it takes for that, and then you back on that, that journey of self-indulgence. So I believe that you have to understand that it may take 21 days to form a good habit, bad habit, but also understanding your triggers, understanding where you at, where you need to be, and how to diminish them. Know where to put them. It's not that it's ever gone. Basically, it's just knowing how to put them in the right category, when be able to identify. I think it's really the big thing. So 6 lies like LIES we tell ourselves. So Jay, I want you to give me a little feedback on this as I finish them.
Alright.
So at one point in time, we have all stated that we're not worthy or we're not good enough, right? When it came to whatever. One of our viewers says, as long as you don't stay off track. Absolutely. That's the biggest thing. Staying on track, staying one way and getting to that goal. But, okay, some of the lies that we tell ourselves, we are not worthy, we're not good enough, you know, not all the time, but at some point of our lives. We don't deserve love unless we love ourselves. You know, I feel as though if a mom, she having issues with loving herself, this and that, I don't think that will take away from her loving her kid. You know, that just, I think one of a valid thing, but I think that it's kind of like, it's a little line. I ain't really totally agree with that one, but I had to change my perspective to see when could it apply, you know.
Right.
We have to make sense of everything. Sometimes a lot of things not gonna make sense.
Not gonna make sense at all, and sometimes you just gotta keep it pushing.
Yes, I think for me, being so analytical and so anal about stuff, I have to dissect. Okay, he said, she said this equal this equal this. It gotta make sense. It don't make sense. Why would this girl be lying? Why would this boy be lying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why my mama told my daddy won't come and he never come? Why she lie to me? You know what I'm saying? Like those type of things. I think like, you know, so it don't always have to make sense. We are not responsible for others, how others feel. We are not responsible for how others feel.
And you said this is 6 lies that we tell ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm not responsible for, you know what I'm saying, like how others feel.
Okay.
We are broken and in need of repair. That is 6 lies. Like, you know how you say, like I'm damaged goods.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, because of whatever. You know, like, I mean, we're going to get real. You stated things about your past when it came to, you know, molestation and this and that. And I know that probably in your mind, you probably felt as if you were damaged goods. And at one point in time, not the whole essence, you know, but at one point, I felt as if, okay, I didn't know my father. And, you know, so I was always going to be, you know, behind the herd with trying to, you know, be normal or just have some type of sense of someone that has a 2-parent household. And we will always be stuck in this situation. I think those are the 6 lies that we tell ourselves, either to self-soothe or, you know, whatever. Mainly self-soothe. But those are 6 lies that we tell ourselves. So what do you think?
I want to start first with the one that says with the first one you said, we're not worthy or good enough. So, you know, I've battled with that for quite some time. And I guess it's just with, you know, having like a humble heart.
Yeah.
You know, and feeling like, oh, you know, this is just a pathway to hell, or you know, this ain't gonna end well. You know, it's always been that and I guess I can say it's been the enemy like playing mind games with me because of me feeling like, oh, because I'm not perfect and I'm not a saint, you know, at the end of the day, that I don't deserve the things that I have, you know, as far as a good job and a nice car or whatever the case may be. I always felt like, oh, I'm not good enough for that. Like, you know, I don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And so, but what I think it is a lot of times it's a mind game, and it's the tricks that are played upon you. So therefore, you don't think it's God that's blessing you. You think it's more or less of a trap you've set for yourself. You know?
Ooh, that was good, Jay.
Yeah.
That was good.
And you know, it takes sometimes for you to talk to other people about the blessings that you have and things that you're going through, or, you know, where you currently are from where you used to be, for you to realize, okay, yeah, this is a blessing. It's not a trap.
Yeah.
You know, this is a blessing for you. At the end of the day, you deserve it. You've worked hard for it, or whatever the case may be. Or as it comes to, I even said this to you this week, and I was like, you know, I don't think I'm ever gonna, you know, find somebody or be in a relationship, because at the end of the day, I just don't think so.
Yeah.
You know, but I think it's just more or less due to situations that have transpired in my life. You know what I'm saying? That make me feel that way, and it's just a lie that I'm telling myself, I guess, to kind of just cope with being single or whatever the case may be, or that, like, dang, this relationship didn't work, that relationship didn't work, you know, talking to this person didn't work. So it's just kind of like, you know, maybe I'm just meant to be single, you know, because I don't feel like I'm worthy or good enough, you know, to.
Because of the the mindset that you previously had and the things that you have been through.
Right, the things that I've experienced. Yeah, so it's just kind of like, it's hard to feel good enough or worthy enough a lot of times, especially if you're somebody like myself that has a humble heart and a humble attitude, because, sometimes you feel like, dang, do I really deserve this? Like, is this blessing really for me? Or is, like I said, or is it a trap?
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's the enemy trying to block the fact of you being blessed. He doesn't want you to recognize God still got that hold and God is still blessing you in the midst of you trying to become and be a better person.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what we have been through.
Yeah.
You're not worthy, you're not good enough. I've been there as well. And a lot of it for me is self-pity. When it's a no presented, when I want it to be a yes, or when something doesn't just go the way I want it, and I'm just like, okay, well, maybe I wasn't good enough. Back then I used to think, like, well, maybe I'm not good enough for that person, or maybe because I don't have X, Y, and Z, that's why the relationship didn't prolong, or those type of things.
Yeah.
But now it's just more so like, okay, with this whole new venture on finding myself and finding my place in life and what I want to do, it's like, okay, I try to block out that sound, that voice that's telling me like, okay, you're not good enough, or right now you don't have all the tools that you need and this and that. It's just like, no, I got everything I have. What I need is within right now.
Yeah.
It's just developing.
Right.
I think that's the biggest thing that is really developing. So we're gonna take a quick break.
Yes, ma'am. And when we return, we're gonna get into more of these lies that we tell ourselves. We're gonna break these curses.
Yeah, generational curses. Done.
We're gonna break these curses. I am your boy, J Man.
And I'm your girl, Ashley J.
And we'll be back. What's going on, world? It's your boy, J Man.
And it's your girl, Ashley J.
And when we left off, we were talking about these 6 lies we tell ourselves. So we touched on basically feeling like you're not worthy or good enough. But the next one says, we don't deserve love unless we love ourselves. And I think that's really, really deep as far as, they always say, how can you love somebody if you don't love yourself?
Yeah.
But a lot of times
sometimes people come in your life to show you even how to love yourself. Like I gave that example of like a child. You could be going through all this emotional turmoil and then get pregnant, have a child, and then that child be able to demonstrate or just
show you
bring
how to
that
love.
Yeah, bring that
and
love.
show you how it is to love unconditionally, because a child is always going to love their parent unconditionally because they don't know no better.
Right or wrong.
You raise them, so, or you are raising them, so they don't know any better but to, love or whatever the case may be. But I feel like whenever you feel like you don't deserve love, or you feel like love isn't coming in your direction, at the end of the day, what you have to think back on is your foundation of having God in your life.
Yes.
The fact that God woke you up this morning, He love you.
Yep. The fact that He gives mercy on you, the fact that He gives us multiple chances over and over and over, shows, even when those situations where you weren't supposed to be here, or something supernatural happened, and something bad could have went down, and it's just by the grace of God that I think that's enough. If He don't do anything further on out,
if He doesn't do anything more, what He's done is good enough, or
absolutely
it should resonate enough to you that you are loved. I don't even think that we have to expound on that. At the end of the day, everybody deserves love. Everybody deserves to be loved, and you deserve to find love. Sometimes you go through a lot of broken-hearted moments, but at the end of the day, those broken-hearted moments is what is building you up for what He has in store for you, whether that be your mate, whether that be a career path, whether that be, fame and fortune, whatever it may be. But it's just building you up and molding you in order to get to that point in life.
Yes, I think that's dope and big.
Yeah. So we have to make sense of everything.
That's another lie.
Huh?
I said another lie.
Right. And it's, you find yourself, when you always find yourself questioning, like, okay, so why is this happening like this? Or that don't make no sense. I don't get why this is happening and this and the third. Everything ain't gonna make sense to you.
Yeah, especially not right then in the moment either.
Everything is not gonna make sense to you, and you're gonna kill yourself trying to figure it out. You're gonna kill yourself. You really mess with your mental health when you try and figure it out and try and make sense of everything. Because at the end of the day, we have to realize who's in power and that everything does happen for a reason, but it might not make sense to you now.
Yeah.
It might take 6 months till you figure out, oh, that's why that happened.
Or 20 years.
20 years. You know, I couldn't figure out why I lost my wallet. Couldn't figure it out for nothing in the world. I couldn't figure it out. You know?
Lost without their wallet.
I was. But then what it helped me to realize was, in order to make that purchase that I made this week, it was very important for me to have lost my wallet. Because of all the identification that they needed from me, everything had to line up and make sense. If I would have still had my wallet, nothing would have lined up and nothing would have made sense based off of the addresses and everything else that were with everything.
See? We don't be understanding.
We don't be understanding. You have what?
No, she was like, basically you have lost connection with God when you're trying to make sense of everything.
Yeah.
I hope that was what was being
Yeah,
said.
Jamel, I'm curious what you meant by that. You know, you have to make sure that you expound on what you say. You can't just be throwing statements out there. You know, we don't want to confuse our viewers.
Our listeners.
But yeah, you know, you cannot make sense of everything at that moment of it happening. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes you have to go through the hills and the valleys and the peaks and the lows, you know, in order for you to figure out what's going on and why this is going on. You know, but trying to figure everything out yourself is gonna run you crazy, and it's really gonna mess with your mental health.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest one. The biggest one that we definitely, we are responsible for how other people feel.
We are responsible for how other people feel. That is a lie.
That is a lie. Oh, because of what you said, that gave them the justification to react and respond the way they did.
Emotional intelligence.
No, I can't tell you to break all the windows and bust this and that or call me out my name based on because I told you that this is not working, or I feel like I'm not being heard or led the right way, or this is, you know, I just feel like this job is not treating me the way of value or anything, you know what I'm saying? And then I go off on my boss, or I'm going off on my boyfriend or girlfriend or, you know, mother, because I'm explaining to her what she did and how did it affected me, and then her response is totally different, and then now I come back with something that's even more hurtful, or, you know, those type of things. I think that is the biggest lie that we tell ourselves, that we are responsible for how other people react and how they feel. No.
At the end of the day, we ourselves are in control of our own feelings and emotions. Somebody could say something to me today and I might not like it, but at the end of the day I don't have to respond to it.
Yeah.
And that's some advice that a lot of people should take, and that people should understand that at the end of the day, just because people say things and do things, sometimes the best response is no response at all.
Yep.
Because
no response is a response.
Yep, no response is a response. And I was talking to a good friend of mine on yesterday, and
you don't have no good friends.
and we were having a conversation about, you know, how they try and be a nice person instead of third, and then, you know, if they don't want to deal with you, they don't want to deal with you. But you know how people just steady try and push and egg on. And what I explained to him was, you know, sometimes people push you to the point of where they know you can go, just so they can make you out to be somebody that you're really not.
Yeah.
They try and bring something out of you that at the end of the day that you know that you keep in. You know, everybody has a temper. You know, it's just, it takes sometimes for you to actually bring it out of them to see it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you run across people in life that at the end of the day, they want to make sure that people get to see how angry or how mad or how whatever you can be. But you have to learn how not to respond to the actions or the words or the things that are being done. That is so crazy that we're talking about this, because all I keep seeing is all of the protests and all of the things that people have set on fire and all of the looting and everything else. Yeah. We've allowed situations to make us angry. And rather than trying to go a different route, we went the same route we've seen in history.
Fighting fire with fire.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching the Malcolm X, I guess, I don't know if it's a documentary or not, but I don't know, it's not a documentary, because it was talking about the Nation of Islam and how he came to being who he is and all the corruption that happened and this and that. And it just was like, he was fighting fire with fire. You know, even with the torments that he was getting from the Nation of Islam, you know, he became the voice of the people, you know. And I think that it's quite funny, because when you go look at it on Netflix, you will see, you know, they try to push him out of the Nation of Islam because of things that he was saying. You know, when J.F. Kennedy got shot, he made a statement, and people felt as if, you know, that he was happy because the assassination, when it was just more so what they stand for is the government don't have anything that's helping black people, you know. So he felt as if that as a black man, he wanted to be that leader or take that stance. And then they push him out of Islam. You know, he knows that this year is probably gonna be the last year that I live, right? And so he's going out, he's trying to attach himself to different organizations, such as over in different countries, to unite, right? But you don't hear anything about what is his name, is the Honorable something Ali, the Honorable Muhammad Ali, not Muhammad Ali, something, the Honorable Ali. I can't remember his name, because I wasn't trying to fixate on him, because it was little things that I was just like not feeling. You know, with him. But when you think about Black Power, you think about, you know, just uplifting when it comes to who took a stand, who tried to make a change. Malcolm X's name is on the list, right? But when you go look at the documentary, you'll feel some type of way and say like, dang, you know, all these things they were saying about him, all these things that he was doing, you know. But his name is very prevalent in history. But his teacher was the guy, the Honorable Ali guy, but you hear nothing about him. You know. And so he took everything that was thrown at him. Elijah Ali. Yeah. He took everything that was thrown at him, and he tried to, you know, create his own and fight fire with fire. And instead of being smart, he was playing checkers and not chess, really. And so he used his emotions, and he did exactly what it is. You're not responsible for how other people feel, right? So based on how these people were feeling, he went and basically antagonized and saying, oh, because, you know, he did and he got many wives of this, and that. And it was just like, I think it diminished the platform that he was really trying to convey to his audience, you know. And that was the biggest thing.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Yes.
But his name was Ali as well at the end. But anyways, that was just a little back in time. But yeah, so another one, we are broken and in need of repair. That is something that we lie and tell ourselves. And I like that Gen Power. It sounds like Power Rangers. I'm the yellow Power Ranger.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. What are we doing it?
What's going on, world? It's your boy J-Man.
And it's your girl Ashley J.
And when we left off, we were talking about the 6 lies we tell ourselves. So the final lie... Huh? Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The final lie that we tell ourselves is we will always be stuck in this situation. And I think that is so great that you pointed that out. Because for me, myself, you know, I always felt that I was going to be stuck in certain situations as far as, you know, just being wild and out there. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that was just, I thought that was just like, that's just who I am. You know, it's just a part of me. And what I had to realize is that it's really not. You know what I'm saying? It's a phase, or it's just what I did not realize, I had to do some research. And what I realized is, due to the fact of the trauma that was endured from the molestation, you go through a phase of, you just to put it out there, wholeness, because you're trying to release.
Yeah, that's true.
You're trying to release all of that up off of you. And so, and you have to kind of like go through it and get it out and get it done with and move on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just trying to shelter it in and keep it all in, this, then, the third, you can't release.
Yeah.
And so then you find yourself. Yeah, you won't be true to yourself. So you have to go through that phase of, you know, releasing whatever you got going on, getting it out there and putting it out there in the atmosphere, rather than continue to just kind of like pour water on it. And then what happens is you get into a relationship or you get into a situation, and then you turn out to be even bigger a hole than you would have been if you would have just got this stuff out your system.
Yeah.
And dealt with everything that you had going on emotionally.
I think that's the biggest thing. Like how you said, you pour water on it, right? So when you pour water on it, what happens? What's the adverse effect of that? Smoke. So what's going on? You trying to compartmentalize things in your life where it's just like, okay, this happened to me, it was tragic, so I'm at us, and this is, I don't know if this what I want to be, what I should be doing, but like I said, it's just a expression outwardly what you feeling inwardly, especially if you don't know how to interpret it and tell somebody. So you go to, I guess, a whole phase of, we're speaking of like pertaining to your situation, and those things come about, and then after the smoke clear, it's like, okay, what I have left, and now you're back picking up the pieces, right? And you know, gotta start all over again. And try to figure you out, try to figure out where you want to be, where you should be, and then where you at currently, and then where your mind takes you, and kind of get frustrated because then you see visions of the end result, but the journey of it, right? And that's what I had to learn as well.
Yeah, and what we also sometimes we want to skip the journey. And we want to just jump right into it.
Just take it to the $1 million.
And we just like, damn, I'm just stuck here. No, go through it. Walk through it.
Yep.
Walk through it.
And
because there's something greater on the other side.
Yep, that's one of my things. Embrace the emotions. Embrace your emotions. Like, something happens, go through the emotions. Don't ignore them. Don't ignore them.
I'm too strong. I can't do it. I'm not gonna let this affect me. No. Go through it.
Go through it, because you have to, like that Acrimony movie, right? You know how it shows you like the different stages that she went through. And she couldn't go through, okay, being cool with what's going on and that's just what it is, and then not really dealing with like, dang man, if I would have did this, or if I would have stayed on and this and that. They're just like, no, be angry, be mad, be sad, be glad. Once, because you're going to go through all that, and at the end, it's going to be a total different outcome. It's going to be a better outcome whether you're trying to hold it in, suppress it. So those
what advice I do want to give is, as you're going through it, you do not have to show everyone what you're going through.
True.
Sometimes we have to be private in going through our emotions and through things that we go through in life. It's okay to be private.
Yes.
You want to have people in your life that at the end of the day, yes, you can talk to, yes, you can confide in. However, the whole world or your whole circle or your whole social media does not need to see every single stage of what you're going through after that bad breakup or after that bad situation has taken place.
Yeah.
You have to go through it. Sometimes you got to go through it, because what happens is you'll also have all those little ears and everybody else's opinion.
That's true.
You know, in your stuff, and you won't necessarily go through it the way you need to go through it.
Very true. So that's why I told you the things that we tell ourselves, that we lie to ourselves for whatever reason. And so I'm going to give a little cleanup or give a solution to it, right? So I got 5 daily remembers that you need to remember each and every day, knowing that I am amazing I'm
these are
amazing.
reminders?
Yeah, these are 5 daily reminders.
Okay.
What I say?
Reminders.
I did. I'm amazing even with the list. Because I clearly thought I said reminders. But anyway, 5 daily reminders. I am amazing. So Octavius, I guess I did say whatever because you laughing at me because you said it right before you even said that. Positivity is a choice. And understanding that you can choose to be positive. You can take a different approach to it and let it be a positive approach. I can do anything. You know, we're going to be real because, you know, a lot of us can't scale walls or, do acrobats. Whatever the case may be, but understanding in your genre, you can do anything. I control my thoughts.
That's definitely a daily reminder. I'm going to go out and get me a dry erase marker. And I'm going to write on my mirror. Well, I'm probably going to write on my mirror.
No. They have those. No. They have this marker. I have it at home. I'll just bring you one because I got 5 of them. I got different colors.
So that way, when I get up in the morning, I can just, my affirmations are there on my mirror.
Yeah. So when I had my vision board, you was there, and I gave out those affirmation things, and then pertaining to what I felt that you may have needed. I'm pretty sure you took a lot of them home.
I did.
You did. So I don't know where your affirmation reminds is all. But anyways, I control my thoughts, and it will always get better.
That's always good to know that it's always going to get better.
I think that's the biggest thing, understanding that it's going to get better. I'm stuck right here and I can't move from this place. This place is maturing you, it's molding you, and it's going to get better. So, listen, we must take care of ourselves and understand that no one has it all figured out. Nobody. No humanly person has it figured out. Nothing but the good, sweet Jesus.
Amen.
But understand and know to be fair and be kind. Love is to be vulnerable and let your guard down. You can't experience the greatest experiences in life if you have a guard up, and being vulnerable allows you to experience those experiences with people, whatever the case may be. But you have to be vulnerable. You have to let your guard down. Good or bad, you can learn from anybody, no matter if they a junkie on the street, if they're a millionaire in the penthouse. You can learn from 2 different situations, but it's all about the perspective that you have and the mindset. That's the most important thing.
Like my grandma told me, you got to chew the meat and spit out the bones. So you don't necessarily have to take every word that somebody says, but at least be able to, or be receptive enough to take in what people are trying to help you with. You never know who God might speak through.
Yes.
Or whoever you serve, as your higher power. You never know who they might utilize to speak to you. So sometimes, you gotta, like I say, or like my grandma said, you gotta chew that meat and spit them bones out.
Very much. And like we spoke about earlier, embrace your emotions and don't ignore them. Go through the emotions, and it's okay. It's okay to feel sad. Sadness does not mean it's okay to be depressed, because that's not the goal that we're trying to reach. So it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be happy, it's okay to be mad, but don't get angry. Don't let it stir up to a point where we find you on the news.
Yeah, we want to break that demonic spirit of depression. That takes a lot of us out as African Americans. Depression is really big in our community, and we want to break that cycle.
Yes.
We have to learn to handle our emotions and find outlets, whether that might be the gym, singing, acting, writing, whatever talent that might, make you happy. If you're a comedian, if you got some sort of talent and you feel like, depression is trying to take over your life, that's that moment that you need to utilize that gift and, bring yourself up out of that depression.
Yes. So that is my segment of the Black Lives Matter movement. Mental health matters.
Mental health matters.
I
like that.
Yes, and I think that we didn't know what we were kind of doing with all of this going on and what to shine light on and highlight. So I think we are in the Black Lives Matter movement and things that pertain to it. So mental health pertains to it. So I guess that's the route that we'll be taking from here on out until Like they said, they was marching and they was protesting for 368 days. So however long it takes for us to bring awareness to certain things, for us to make a movement, whatever
Make
it is.
some sort of change.
Yes, so.
You know, we here to break them curses, y'all. We want to see everybody do great. And, you know,
Yes.
at the end of the day, whatever we can do to help. If you guys have any ideas for segments or anything like that, you know, our inboxes are always open for anything positive.
Instant messaging.
Instant messaging.
You know, Jay got that heat, bringing his ear to the streets, guys.
Yes,
and we're going to take a
yes.
quick break. So when you come back, that is what you'll be hearing. And we're out.
What's going on, world? It's your boy, J-Man.
And it's your girl, Ashley J.
And you know I'm coming with that heat and my ear to the streets.
My favorite part.
So first things first, I want to give you guys just a little bit of background on what Juneteenth is. It's known as Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, Liberation Day, and Emancipation Day. It is a holiday celebrating the emancipation of those who had been enslaved in the United States. Originating in Texas, it is now celebrated annually on the 19th of June throughout the United States with varying official recognition. Specifically, it commemorates Union Army General Gordon Granger announcing federal orders in Galveston, Texas on June 19, 1865, proclaiming that all slaves in Texas were free. Kind of moving forward, it states that President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation had officially outlawed slavery in Texas and the other states in rebellion against the Union almost 2.5 years earlier. Texas, being the most remote of the slave states, had a low presence of Union troops after the American Civil War ended. Thus, enforcement had been slow and inconsistent before that president's announcement, that governor's announcement. Although Juneteenth is commonly thought of as celebrating the end of slavery in the United States, it was still legal and practiced in 2 Union border states, Delaware and Kentucky, until December 6, 1865. When ratification of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution abolished non-penal slavery nationwide. So this week has just kind of like just been really big for everybody, you know, in Black America. There have been so many steps that have basically, or so many rules that have kind of like just been put out this week. I don't know if you've seen the post that I posted up yesterday. Where basically kind of broke everything down, starting with today as far as where you could shop at, where you couldn't shop at.
Yeah.
If you do shop, it needs to be, you know, Black-owned companies, or, you know, any minority company, so forth and so on. On certain days, you're not supposed to eat out. On certain days, you're not supposed to spend any money at all whatsoever. And I'm all for it. You know, at the end of the day, I'm all for, at the end of the day, saving the Black dollar, because, you know, we make up a lot of the money that is moved throughout the economy at the end of the day. So if, you know, we just kind of, but yeah, we don't know how to save. We don't know how to cut back. You know, that was one of the first things that we talked about on one of the very first episodes of GE, you know, about how most Black families don't have at least $1,000 in the bank. You know,
just to speak on a little bit, you think, you know, when we were kids, right, when we got $1 or any of that, it was never like save your money. Even if it was, the parents were demonstrating saving your money. So, you know, I grew up in the hood, so we were going to the candy lady or this and that. I remember hearing narratives say, "Oh, save your 50 cents or save your dollars until you get 5 or 10." But from the time and time again, money has been burning our pockets. So it's just like, you know, Black people spend. We spend it on hair, makeup for women, men, clothes, jewelry, shoes. You know, like, yeah, we making, you know, Michael Jordan, he's a Black man, but, you know, you think about your shoe collection, that's tens of thousands.
Yeah. You know, I had that conversation. I was talking to one of my other coworkers, and I was explaining to her, you know, I had to make a decision, and that was to stop spending money on Jordans, because at the end of the day, one thing that it took for me to do my own research to find out, you know, how much invested he was into prisons. And I understand what prisons are for. However, I also understand that pretty much the majority that makes up of the population of prisons is black men and women. So therefore, if I know that my $200-300 per pair of shoes is going towards him funding jails, I don't want anything to do with that at the end of the day. You know, that's just, you know, my personal stance on it.
So you rocking Felines forever you love Atlanta?
No, I'm not rocking Felines. At the end of the day, the shoes are there. But as far as my future purchases, I believe I have pretty much every shoe that I've wanted out of his collection.
Yeah, you do.
You know, so at the end of the day, for me to move forward, it's like, you know, let me step onto something different. Let me purchase something different if that is what I decide to do. Also, not to mention, I haven't purchased a pair of shoes in I don't know how long. I bought some Air Force Ones like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm about to hold on, Jay.
I just bought these Air Force Ones a couple weeks ago, but that was because I was like, oh, all white Air Force One, all right,
They're
baby.
nice though.
Yeah, you know, I like them. They comfortable and
They're
they're
not
even.
regular all white. They got the black lining or writing.
It's the double airs.
Okay, I'm more of a heel girl.
Oh yes, we are definitely aware. But yes, this week, you know, we are supposed to be representing for the African American community, you know, black owned businesses, you know, all the brown people of the world, you know, at the end of the day, the biggest thing is that we're supposed to be doing everything we can possibly do, you know, to represent for ourselves as a culture. And I hope that, you know, everyone is taking the movement seriously as far as Juneteenth and everything that it stands for, as well as, you know, the Black Lives Matters movement, which they had something to say about Juneteenth, because, you know, they're actually trying to make it a national holiday.
Yeah.
And I even, you know, my grandmother, well, my father's side of the family, they're in New York. And so basically, they took Friday as a national holiday in recognition of Juneteenth. The state of New York did that. But Black Lives Matter stated on Make Juneteenth a national holiday. Now more than ever, we must highlight and celebrate the rich history of our community and our culture. In the last few days, cities and companies across the country have declared Juneteenth a holiday. Just like our lives, our history matters, including why Juneteenth is rooted in joy and its call for liberation for the black community. It took years after President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 for enslaved people to be free nationwide. Juneteenth celebrates June 19th, 1865, as what I've already explained to you guys. On this day, for many years since, our ancestors celebrated the promise of liberation and a hope for freedom. And where we are today is we're still looking for liberation. We're still looking for freedom.
Yes.
Little do we know it. You know, every action that we have showed over the course of the last, 21 days, I can probably say, we have an outcry for freedom. We have an outcry for equality. However, as I've stated many times before, we have to move differently. We can't continue to fight fire with fire. We can't continue to think that, oh, we're just going to protest, we're going to burn bridges, we're going to burn buildings down, and we're going to get our voices heard. Yeah. Yes, we're mad. Yes, we're angry. Yes, we're upset. But at the end of the day, that's not getting us anywhere. What will get us somewhere is, like I stated before, going to the polls and voting. Making sure you're getting involved with who's in office at the end of the day, making decisions that are sitting down with the people of the Supreme Courts and all these different legislations. That's what's going to get some sort of change going at the end of the day. The president could easily change up the way that everything is done as it goes to law enforcement, but there has to be something done on the state side, you know, in the different communities where these things are taking place. You know, we have to have the right people in office that actually care about the brown people of the world at the end of the day. But yet and still, we continue to not let our voices be heard. However, as they are still calculating votes to this day, we showed out.
Yep.
We definitely did show up and we showed out, but we can't just stop here. You know, we cannot just stop here. We have to continue to make sure that our voices are heard. We have to continue to make sure that our history is seen and it's celebrated in a positive light. And we can start by making sure that Juneteenth will be recognized as a national holiday. I'm sure there's going to be something that has to be done, whether it's a petition that has to be signed or whatever the case may be, and we just need to all get on board. I'm still all for the Blackout Day that's coming for next month.
I know that it will, because at the end of the day, this is something that I'm putting out into the world. And two, with everything that's going on, I think that it's time to make history.
Mm-hmm.
And how are we going to do this? You know, with the mindset of people, that's kind of like, you
Right.
know, that's kind of like that. But we can make a staple right now in declaring that Juneteenth is a holiday, you know, and I think we're going to make history by doing that. And it will be years to come that, hey, 2020 was the year that all this racial craziness went on, but something good came out of it. A lot of history was expounded on and implemented for, you know, our younger generation.
Yeah, you know, there's supposed to be a march on Washington, D.C., which I'm trying to pull it up now to see the specific date for it. Because that's something that I told you that I want to definitely be involved with. The rooms are very, very, very expensive right now. I believe it's in August.
26 or?
It possibly will be in recognition of the one that was on the 28th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's somewhere between there. But that March on Washington is definitely something that, you know, I definitely want to be involved in, because it's going to make history. It's going to make history, and it's going to be in the history books. And we, as a people, we have to make sure that we are making history. You're going to see something about that Wendy's being burnt down in a history book. You're going to see something about George Floyd in a history book. You're also going to see the negative things being shown in the history books as far as the looting and this and the third. They're not going to allude to the fact that there were agitators in the protests. Yeah. They're not going to allude to, at the end of the day, it wasn't all African Americans that were protesting. They're not going to put the positive things out there. It's up to us to make sure that we're making history. We're making history in a positive light. There was also a fund that they're working on. A Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation announces $6.5 million to support organizing work for Black Lives Matters. So guys, make sure that you're tuning in each and every Saturday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. with your boy J-Man and your girl
Ashley J.
You know, you can catch us on Instagram. I am your boy J_man_2020.
And I'm your girl Empowered You _.
And you can also find us as one at Generational Empowerment _. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel. We upload each and every episode by the weekend. And yes, guys.
Jen, I want to say Saturday or Sunday.
Very bad. It just all depends. You know, tomorrow's Father's Day, so I probably won't be doing no video editing.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. But yes, guys, on that note, please stay tuned. Next week we will have some more heat. Mm-hmm. But yes, guys, go out and enjoy your Juneteenth weekend. Enjoy your Juneteenth week. Please stay safe. Make smart decisions.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Brown Lives Matter.
Light Skin Lives Matter.
But yeah, y'all, I'm your boy J-Man.
And I'm your girl Ashley J. And we'll see you next weekend, next Saturday at 4 through 6.
4 p.m. to 6 p.m.